What is wrong with your plant? I'm gonna try and help you, starting with this damage. Or maybe you're noticing new leaves falling off, a sticky residue either on the plant or on the ground underneath the plant. Or maybe you're noticing little white bits that look like little skeletons when you look up close. We are talking about aphids today. I personally knew of aphids mostly in the garden, like on roses, and I know that outside they have a lot of predators, birds and different predatory insects like ladybird beetles. So outside it wasn't really ever a problem, and when I didn't have this many plants yet, I would actually put some of our aphid-ridden plants outside for a day in worm seasons. And then the ladybird beetles would remove basically all the aphids. Another natural predator wanted to say hello. This is Mickey, if you don't know. He really wants some attention, but I really need to film this video because it is 2 p.m. right now and this video needs to go up by 5. So my chances of that succeeding are kind of low. We'll see how it goes. I had heard that aphids are easy to treat. So when there is a few, you can treat them easily with either spray or insecticide. We'll talk about that in a second. But my dumb face thought they're easy to treat, so I don't have to do anything. So I didn't do anything. I got some good bugs for them, but not early on. And so they multiplied throughout my whole house. It's really bad right now. They can multiply very, very fast. Apparently the life cycle is there's these winged females that can go look for new places to feed, to find plants. And they will make a bunch of babies, 40 to 60 babies that will mature in 7 to 10 days. Those babies are born pregnant. So they don't need anything fun to make babies. They, in 7 to 10 days, will make their own babies again without any male interactions. This is called parthenogenesis, and it means they can spread really, really fast. And most of those actually cannot fly, only in certain seasons or when the food source dries up or when there's too many of them, then winged females are born again and they will spread looking for new places. So nature is super, super smart. And so what they do is they weaken the plant by sucking out the sap. They are often on the backs of leaves, and that's where they enter into the veins of the plant. I actually took a few pictures a while ago of a Hoya leaf where the bright orange, by the way, aphids were just formed exactly in the shape of the veins of the leaf. So that was very interesting and also really creepy. But it's very interesting to see that they know where to go to find the source of the best sap. And because they enter the sap stream of the plants, they can also transmit viruses between different plants. The excess sugar that they get from the plant sap, they excrete as honeydew, which can be the sticky stuff that you find on plants. Now, they are not the only insects that create honeydew, but if you see a sticky residue either on the plant or around the plant, then definitely take a closer look. I've also seen this happen with scale and mealybugs, and they're all related to each other, so that makes sense. And this honeydew means that ants really like them, so they can be farmed by ants. The ants will eat the honeydew and protect the aphids from predators, and this is called a mutualistic relationship. And the sticky residue can also create a space for sooty fungus and molds to grow more easily. Aphids come in many different colors. I've had bright orange one with black legs. Oh, and actually their bodies are kind of soft and juicy with thin, sticky legs. And especially on the orange ones, you could really tell that because orange and black is a nice contrasting color. They also come in black, in green, in red, in pink even I read, in yellow, and the main ones that I currently have are green, and at a certain stage they get dark spots. And the white bits that you can see around the plant or on the plant are the empty skins that they moved out of when they transitioned into a new stage. So those are actually a really helpful sign that you do have aphids, and also that they have gone quite far already. If you're keeping a close eye, you might spot the stickiness first and you can catch them early. But when they're skeletons or when the leaves are starting to look really sad, then probably you already have quite a few, like me. And by the way, they also reproduce sexually, and the eggs can overwinter here. They mostly actually happen in more temperate climates, like mine, and not so much in tropical climates, which is different than most other pests that we have on our plants. I tried to film them for you in many different stages and also with my microscope. The adults are pretty easy to see with the naked eye once you know what you're looking for, and they're actually also quite hard to film with the microscope because they're so big. But then when you look closer with the microscope, you see smaller ones and even smaller ones and then even smaller ones. So there's many different sizes and stages of their life, I feel like. And they look so creepy in the microscope. I usually squish them with my hand, actually. I captured that a few times for you. But how you can treat them, there are a few ways. The main thing that people say to do, if you don't have that many yet, is to spray them down really thoroughly. Because as you can see here, I used the tap and they still held on. And then I even used a dishwashing brush, and some of them still were on the leaf after that. So I like to use a proper garden hose that will blow them off the leaf. You can also use a little bit of dish soap or hydrogen peroxide or some alcohol, white spirit, that will kill them as well. Or of course an insecticide, which will kill them on contact. But unfortunately, they can quite easily become resistant to insecticides. And also they're kind of sneaky because they hide on the back of the leaves where they're feeding. So you have to look at all the back sides of the leaves and hose them down properly as well. Plus, I've experienced especially that they're very easy to just let themselves drop, meaning that they're either on my sweater or on the ground or on a lower leaf on the plant that I maybe have already sprayed, and that way they can climb back up very quickly and continue their life and ruining my plants. So keep an eye on those sneaky falling ones as well. Unless you're in the shower, of course, and they're falling away from the pot and the plant. Then it's great. They can go into the drain. Goodbye. Another good way to treat them is integrated pest management. If you are new to that, it means bringing in good bugs, like I call them, into your house to eat the bad bugs or to kill the bad bugs, which I have been doing for several years now. I did not realize that you also have to spray your plants down every now and then with a strong spray. So maybe that's why it hasn't been super effective for me. I'm learning to spray them down before the new good bugs come, but because I have like 350 plants, I prefer to not do the spraying because it's so much work. But maybe I'll do that soon again. I work with Entocare and I usually get their Adalia larvae and beetles, which is the ladybird beetle, and their larvae. And the benefit of the larvae is that they cannot fly, because with the ladybird beetles, someone once told me in the comments, it's not a ladybug, so you should say it properly. Ladybird beetle. They fly away. So they will fly towards the window or out the window if it's a little bit warmer and not stay on the plants where the aphids are. So I prefer the larvae, but depending on your region, you might also be able to get parasitic wasps, lacewing larvae. There's different ways around the world how companies work and what works effectively for your environment. Of course, you don't want to use anything that is either harvested in a negative way. I know that ladybird beetles used to be just grabbed from caves. Here in Europe, they've been growing them for integrated pest management for I think 30 or 40 years already. So they are not poached, but keep an eye on that. And also, you don't want to ruin your local climate. So usually the good companies will know what works best around your area. I hope that was clear. Let me know if you have any questions about aphids or about integrated pest management or any of the other things that I mentioned in this video. I am really excited to share a little bit more educational things instead of just showing you my pretty plants, which I have been doing for the past 6 years. So I'm gonna finally try and get over myself and just share what I know, even though it might not be perfect, because I am no biologist, I am no entomologist, which I think is the name for when you research insects, but I have learned a lot over the years and I want you to be happy with your plants as well. So let me know if you've had aphids, how you recognize them, if you saw the bugs themselves first, or if you spotted any of the other things like the stickiness or the skeletons or the damaged leaves, the new leaves dropping off really quickly. So I look forward to hearing from you, how you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much, friends. Bye. I'm just realizing I didn't even do my hair or look at my face before I started filming, so I hope I looked okay.